Hey, what's going on? Happy Teenager Tuesday.
Teenager Tuesday.
We're back. Hey, I'm here with Pastor Elijah, and it's time for Cultural Update.
Culture Update, y'all. It's time to update the culture.
There we go. So to give you, to kind of keep you in the know and everything with that. Hey, first off, so Demi Lovato is still a big deal.
Yeah.
Big influencer. A lot of people know her. A lot of people are wondering. Celebrities. There we go.
Yeah.
It's always funny to me, like how much we care, and how much a lot of people care about what they say and their personal life and everything. So if you haven't seen, Demi Lovato was recently on an episode of Joe Rogan, and she came out as pansexual. Which, of course, I know. So for some of you, are like, I don't really know what that means. Truthfully, it's just a different way of saying bisexual. It's like she's saying, I'm attracted to guys and girls no matter their sexual orientation. And a more broader definition of pansexual is actually like you're just attracted to a lot of things. Yeah. Which is just strange, but it's our culture. Yeah. It's just happening out there.
I've heard that term so much recently for some reason, like just in culture and shows and whatever. So it's a great thing to know. Also with Demi Lovato, she's Christian. She's kind of she'll step out as influencing Christian, like kind of like a Justin Bieber. Yeah. So that's something to note of like, hey, who should my daughter be watching, listening to? Yeah. She's Christian. So just kind of an understanding of that. Yeah. Another girl that has made the news recently is a 17-year-old girl. Yeah. Her name's Corey Goff. She is a tennis player, and she is the youngest woman since 2006 to make a quarterfinal.
At 17.
17 years old. She's ranked 23rd player in the world.
In the world.
Yeah.
Yep. And Coco is her nickname.
Coco. And of course, when I was 17, I was, until I tore my, my heel, my arm heel.
You also were 20.
I was 22nd.
22nd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was also in tennis, but then God called me to ministry.
You would have made it far.
Yeah, but, you just got to follow God's calling. On a more serious note, one thing with culture too, parents, if you have not heard of Facetune, this is like the editing app. Yeah. Like the big one. It used to be Visco. It actually, like Visco, it became this whole type of person. People call them Visco girls. But now the big editing app is called Facetune. Yeah. And I read this just crazy article, very long article on Huffington Post about how Facetune had this massive spike at the beginning of the pandemic. It was already a big app, but now it's like exploded in users. They've on their website, they say that it's been downloaded 160 million times on their website. 160 million times, and every day 1 million to 1.5 million photos are touched up. Yeah, and
that's crazy.
A big reason that this is like a big deal, or this app is a big deal, is because it is very easy for girls to like edit their jawline, or and very realistic to like fix how they see. Oh, this is like how my hips should be, or like they're lit. All this stuff. It's just like they swipe through instead of like filters where it changes the like look of it. Yeah, is literally filters changing their features. So it's crazy. It's a big deal. And in this article, it kind of documented different girls and kind of quoted them in there. And one girl even said, she said, I worry like, oh my, OMG, I'm going to look like a catfish. Like she's saying, who I am online does not even come close to looking like me. And even further into this, they talked about how there's starting to be a spike in cosmetic surgeries specifically with young girls. Yeah. Because there's this almost like dysphoria of how a girl sees herself in the mirror is not that's not accurate because of what she posts. Yeah. So parents, if there's after reading this and looking more into it, if your student has Facetune, I would say nada. I would delete it. And we've talked about this before, but we train students to drive a car, and I think phones are more powerful than a car for sure. So
I think with that too, one thing I've noticed as just being a youth pastor, and you know, you take a picture at youth in front of the photo booth, girls, especially girls, guys don't really care as much. It seems like that, but girls will always be like, "Let me see that photo."
Yeah,
we cannot use that photo. So it's just a thought. That's a great thought on that app, because it's not just a filter. It's something that changes, like literally changes your physical appearance, which is crazy. Another thing we want to update you on, which is kind of something that you never really want to hear. Yeah. It's scary to hear, especially among teenagers, but it's talking about suicide and just an uptick in suicide attempts. Kind of like the idea of people who come into emergency rooms for what could be suspected suicide has been increased by 50% in girls from 12 to 17 since the pandemic started.
Over the last year?
Over the last year.
Wow.
Which, I mean, obviously the pandemic probably has a lot to do with that.
Sure.
But, I mean, that's just something to have an eye on. Guys is also increased, but it's not, it's never as, so we know this, guys usually actually commit suicide more than girls because more brutal or whatever, like they'll actually go through with it. But there's just been such an increase. And from 12 to 17, the attempts.
That's what you're saying. Yeah, yes, young women, the attempts are like way higher than guys.
Yeah. So I think just something to have an eye on in your student, and just have conversations about that. I've had a conversation with a few parents of just having me have conversations with their students about what's going on in life, and just keep asking questions, keep staying informed. Whether they seem super happy all the time or not, like be involved in those conversations.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like probably so much of that. Well, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that, right? But I wonder how much of that has to do with just the isolation part.
Yeah,
that came because of the COVID. Because like girls, monstrous increase, up 50%. Young guys, same age, up 4%, which is still not great. Like you don't want any of those numbers increasing. Yeah. You know. Yeah. And another thing on a note here in Texas, I'm sure a lot of you have seen this.
Yeah.
But there was a valedictorian who, when she got up to give her speech, she used a good portion of that speech to not say the typical stuff, which is the like, guys, we made it. We're here and proud of you. You know, we're gonna be friends. Our memories. Instead, she used that time to talk, to take stance on abortion and to talk about that. And you know, we're not gonna get into like the new that conversation or anything. A bigger part of that to know on the cultural side with teenagers is politics is has very much become a social status that feeds into it almost more than like what. You know, the friend circles that you're in is more of like what political circles you're in high school.
100%.
And it's crazy. Like politics are getting younger and younger.
Yeah. Part of that has to do with just YouTube and social media, of them finding material that is like suited towards them. And like, I think we said this in our last culture update, but like, it's becoming more of the norm to like, you have to pick a side. Yeah. And if you don't have a side, then you're like, it's almost you're forced to pick a side because of your beliefs. And like teenagers are like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
because silence is violence.
Right.
If you don't say anything.
But I think more than ever, like teenagers have beliefs and thoughts on politics than we've ever had before.
Yeah. So, I did not.
I had zero.
Yeah. When I was 17.
I was like, my dad believes.
Yeah.
But
so we do have a lighter note.
Note.
Or interesting, you know?
This is crazy. So there's talking about upticks. There's been an uptick in teenagers being hired at different places, but also not even just that, but being promoted to higher ups, managers, things like that, which I mean didn't really happen when I was a teenager as much. You saw, I mean, we worked the kitchen and we worked all that, but like Lane's Chicken hired somebody, and you can get paid up to $50,000 as a teenager, which is
on their
manager.
Yeah, because there's such a shortage. There's so many jobs, and there's way less people that are that they can hire for those jobs.
Yeah.
Right. For whatever reason, pandemic, whatever you want to say. Yeah. So I too was making $50K when I was 17.
Only $50K.
Yeah. Whoa.
That's low. That's low. But man, that's crazy to me.
Yeah. That's crazy. $50K. So if you're like, my kid doesn't have a job, be like, get to Lane's, because they're promoting.
Get to be a manager. You can do this.
Yeah, managers. Let's go. Oh man, that's hopefully. This helps keep you informed.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully there's a lot of stuff in here that you're like, maybe you hadn't heard before, or maybe your student has mentioned. If not, we're here to keep you in the know.
We are here for you. Remember this. You can do this. You are not alone.
God's with you, and so are we. Have a great week.